Hello friends, welcome to my channel Jay's Bees Crochet. I'm your host Amber, and today we are going to learn how to single crochet. First, you need some yarn. Just find some, if you're brand new, just go find a skein of yarn. If you have scrap yarn, and then a crochet hook. I am using, I always turn this upside down, a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. This is just normally on most ball bands with yarn, you're going to find that it recommends a 5 to 5.5. So I'm just going to go with the 5.5. That's what I had on hand. I'm going to take my tail, which is this end here. This is my working end up here. I'm going to take the working end and wrap it up and over my fingers around the bottom. I'm going to make an X, wrap it around this way. And so that way the second strand is on the back side of the first strand. I'm going to take my hook, go under the first strand, grab my second strand, and pull it tight till I have a slip knot. Well, I gotta move my light just a little bit so I don't keep shadowing you here. Next I'm going to I like to see how it twists like this. I like to have it where my working yarn is on my left here, so I insert my hook back in, and I'm going to tighten up my slip knot so I have just enough room for the hook and yarn to slide through easily. And we are going to chain 10. So we're going to yarn over, pull through, and we have our first chain. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, pull through 4, yarn over, pull through. We have 5 chains. So I'm going to pull this up a little bit and show you here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this loop that's on our hook does not count. We never count that unless otherwise stated, and 99% of the time you're going to get this does not count as anything. All right, so we have 5. We need 5 more, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so we have our chain of 10. Now, to start our next row, you're going to notice that on this side we see these V's, right? If you roll it over, my personal preference is to always start all my projects, unless otherwise specifically stated. When it says to go into the chain, I always go into these little bumps on the back that you see here. Okay, so I'm going to insert my hook back in, pull my loop back down. I'm going to, so it's going to roll over. Now to single crochet, I'm actually going to chain 11, so that way we can have an even 10. So there's 11. Because with this you want to crochet, or you want to chain 1 extra, so that way when you go to work your first round, that first chain, see if I can see that first chain right there, will give you the height for the single crochet going back the other way. So you're going to yarn over, take the head of your hook, and you're going to count down 1, 2 of those bumps and go into that second bump just like this, so that way the 2 V's are on the bottom, or sorry, the two posts of the V are on the bottom, and the bump is on the top here. So now we have 3 loops on our hook. I yarned over. I'm not double crocheting here, I'm single crocheting. Whoops, rewind. All right, so instead of yarning over, oh, kitty cat's coming at my door. That scared me there for a second. So I'm going to actually insert the head of my hook into that bump instead of yarning over first. Then we yarn over, pull it through that bump, and now we have 2 loops on our hook, which is what we should have for a single crochet. Then you're going to yarn over and pull through both loops. So that is your single crochet. You're going to see you have your V here. This is your chain 1 that you chained up to this row, and then this is the other post of the single crochet If you flip it on this side, that's what it looks like on the other side. Insert my hook. Make sure my working yarn is still on the front side of my hook here, so you'll see it slide through there. Kitty cat is in here now. Hey, kitty cat. So, and insert my hook into the next bump. I'm going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and then pull through both. Now we have 2 single crochets. So then, this is where it can get kind of confusing. You see this opening right here, and then you see this strand right here. A lot of people when they're first starting out are going to see this and think, oh, that's my next bump. No, that's the bump you literally just went into. So what you want to try to do is visualize the next bump. See how it's sitting right here? Thanks, kitty cat. Yes, get in my video. So you're going to insert your hook into that bump, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through both. So just see how you can kind of see how that single crochet goes into that bump there. So you want to make sure you go into the next bump here. And you're going to do that all the way down. And I'll keep going with you. We're just going to keep inserting our hook into the next bump. This is, for most crocheters, this first foundation row is fiddly because, you know, depending on your tension and stuff, getting into those chains to start your row can be kind of fiddly. So we're just going to insert our hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through both loops on our hook. So we're going to keep going. Hopefully I'm going slow enough for you. If not, YouTube has this amazing feature that I honestly just recently learned of, that I could slow videos down in the last year. I mean, you know, I'm only 39 and just now learning this stuff. Alright, so I'm coming up on the last 2. You can see we have 1, 2, and then we have our slip knot right here, and then our tail. Okay, so I'm going to go into those last 2 with you. These can be kind of fiddly, like I said, so you just got to be mindful and just go slow and, you know, make mistakes. If you make them, you know what not to do next time. That's what I like to say. All right, so this, you can see our V is on the bottom, our bump is on the top. We're going to go into that bump, and we're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, and yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so now we have, and sometimes you're gonna notice it does kind of likes to do this, and sometimes it has a lot to do with your tension, but look, as you can see, I can easily straighten it out and it sits just fine. So don't get too worried about that. Things work itself out over time, and the more you do this, the better, the looser your tension will get, or, you know, you'll figure yourself out with how you do things. So how do we get to the next row? Well, we yarn over and we pull through that loop, and now we have a chain, just like we had. Remember how we skipped that first chain to start our single crochet into the second chain down here, and we got that chain 1 up over here? This is our chain 1 up here. That's how we chain 1 up to the second row. Now when it comes to turning your work, you can either turn it towards you like this, or you can turn it away from you like this. It really doesn't matter. It just depends on personal preference. For me, when I crochet, I think it changes honestly from time to time. But once I started on one project, I kind of tend to keep doing the same one just out of like muscle memory. But I don't know. It just depends. There's certain patterns I've actually seen. Make sure you turn it this way, you know. So naturally for me, it's just turn it that way. So now let's look here. We have the loop on our hook. Then we have this one here. This is our chain 1. This is our first single crochet right here. So you're going to notice that when you look at your crochet work, you can't see the V's. That's because they're kind of tilted towards the front. So if you roll it just a little bit, you'll see your V's. So what we're going to do is we're not going to go into this one here. That's our chain 1. we're going to go into this one right here between my two fingers. The one right there above, in those three. There. It's got fingers on all four sides. Alright, so I need to actually pull down this a little bit so it's not too tall. I'm actually going to take the head of my hook and insert it into this space right here below those two loops. Okay? Most of the time, unless it specifically says, you're going to go under both loops. And I like to kind of pull this so it's not quite so loose. See how I kind of tightened it down a little bit? I pull up my loop. Now we have two loops on our hook, just like before on our first row. You're going to yarn over, pull through both loops, just like before. Same thing. So you're going to go across and do, you should have 10 single crochets if you chained 11 in the beginning. So I'm going to go quickly across here and just keep inserting under the next V. Should go fairly quick if you're a quick learner. Alright, so here's the last two, like I did on the first row. So like I said, they tend to like tilt towards the front, so you kind of have to roll them back a little bit. So we have this V here and this V here. Those are our last two. So we're going to go into this one here. And then you're going to see this is our last one here on the end. Do not go into the chain. And then, you know, right now, if you kind of turn it like this, it is nice and straight. And you basically are going to repeat what you did at the beginning of this row to start your next row. Just chain one, turn your work, and go into that first stitch, not the chain, but the first V. Okay? Just like that. So I'm actually going to pull this back out, and I'm going to count with you so you can see how we have 10. You roll it down here on the bottom, you'll see, we'll count the foundation just to show you here that we should have 10 chains. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then right here on the end is our 11th chain that's kind of curled up to our next row. So we have 10 chains on the bottom there. So then we should have 10 single crochets up here. And if you look across the row, you'll see these like V's right here going down into that hole, right? So you should have 10 of those. So those are another visual landmark you could look for. This one on this end's a little tougher because of that chain one and all that stuff, but we'll go with this right here, this V on top, and we'll count that one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 single crochets on row 2. That tells us we're doing the right amount of stitches, and as long as you follow the directions on this, you should have nice straight sides. And this one will straighten up as you get more. It's just the first couple rows can be kind of, like I said, fiddly and wonky, and you just kind of have to you got to get going and get more done before you really see the nice straight even edges and all that fun stuff. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on single crochets. If you have any comments, concerns, or questions, please leave them in the comments down below, and I will try to answer them as best as I can. Alright friends, have a great day, and we will see you on the next one. Bye!